whenever a family has a child with an illness, you never know where that journey's going to take you. And we always prayed for a miracle.
She was the flyer. She's the one that they would, get and throw into the air.
She was this cute, petite, tiny little girl with just a head full of long, blonde hair. She wasn't afraid of heights. In fact, she wasn't really afraid of anything.
I've got a story just like anyone else. A wise man said, this too shall pass. Oh yeah. Come on, I'm gonna go all the way this time. Flying, never coming down. Gonna reach the stars. I'm going high.
We had noticed she had just gotten weak. I said, what's the matter with you? I said, you're a tumbler. You can tumble and do backflips, without knowing. And it progressed from that to she fainted a couple of times. And we thought it was, she's got a virus or whatever. So I took her into the doctor the next day, and they immediately sent us to Texas Children's Hospital.
She was just, from the moment I met her, she was about 11 years old, she just had a sort of magical presence about her, and nothing would keep that girl down.
Victoria was diagnosed at the age of 11 and a half with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. The cure rate for leukemia is the 80%. When Victoria was told that she had cancer, that's the only time we saw her cry. And Dr. Dreyer walked in and told her that 80%, 85% rate cure. So Victoria accepted that. She said she wasn't worried anymore.
In today's world, we cure, go away forever, about 80% of children. In 1965, we cured 5% of children. So the improvement is unbelievable. And Victoria actually had a particular subtype of ALL that the cure rate should have even been better than that.
Victoria's treatment was to take 2.5 years. And at the end of 2.5 years of chemo, Victoria was to be finished with her treatment.
So during that time, she had some good days, she had some bad days.
When she was sick, she still would put on her cheerleading suit and go do cheerleading. I have lots of pictures and important memories in my office, and one of the ones that I get to see every day is my beautiful picture of Victoria as an angel at our Camp Periwinkle. I'm the camp doctor. I've been the camp doctor for 20 plus years. And I took a little girl who was suffering from cystic fibrosis and cancer. And she was in Tori's cabin. But Victoria would come around, 11:30 in the morning, 12, get this little girl all ready for the day's activities for the afternoon. And she got this little girl ready to go to the dance. I will never forget that little girl at that dance. What a wonderful support Tori was, because without Tori, this little girl would never have had the camp experience that she did.
She feels great. How does my heart sound?
It's a little off. It kind of sounds like a bunny.
Oh.
I like bunnies.
Oh, you like bunnies?
I love them. Okay, you're good.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to hand this over to Dr. Frickback and see what she has to say.
Well, what's your name again?
My name is Bunny McBunkbunk.
Well, Bunny McBunkbunk, today our breaking story is about a little dog named Arfie. Let's ask Arfie.
In 2005, Texas children held their first radiothon with the Children's Miracle Network Hospital, and that's where we met Doc.
We were doing a radiothon at a radio station in Houston, Texas, and she was the kind of kid that you could hear her coming long before she got to your soundproof studio. She was very full of energy. She was just 10 or 11 years old and was already considered a long-term survivor of leukemia.
Here she is, lying up in bed, tubes connected to her. she didn't go and cry about it or bemoan her situation. She was around to try to visit these other kids to make them feel better. And I think that's the legacy of her.
At the end of 2.5 years, when Victoria's treatment was over, they performed another spinal tap and a bone marrow test. The Dr. Dreyer called us. I remember it was a Thursday, and she said, "I cannot believe this, but Victoria has relapsed." Because of the seriousness of her relapse, they told Victoria that her next option was to receive a bone marrow transplant.
Our community really rallied behind our family and our church. You know, we even had signs, "Pray for Victoria." So it wasn't just our family, it affected everybody.
And she made it through, and 9 months later, she relapsed again.
Joellen called me, and she had just the worst news ever, and that is that Victoria's cancer had returned.
So this was 3 times she was told that she had cancer. And so we began another journey to receive a second bone marrow transplant.
Victoria at that time decided she was going to fight and entered the hospital for what would turn out to be an extremely long stay, many, many, many months. And so as a result of this extended stay, I saw that there wasn't as much for her to do as you can stay placated with as a young person.
And he asked her at that time, he said, "Victoria, do you like to play video games?" She said, "I love to play video games."
So I put the word out to a website that I worked with called Sarcastic Gamer, and the online community responded in droves. What I expected to be a couple of games that might come from here and there instead turned out to be things coming from all over the world.
And we started receiving boxes of games.
We had games that came in from Asia and Europe, and
He was receiving games from all over Texas, all over the United States.
so much so that it became sort of overwhelming. Tori had to end up giving it away to other kids who were also stuck in the hospital.
She was the one to go around to be that extra person for all these other children.
It just doesn't seem right that a child should be sick. It's not right that a child stay in a hospital and that they're confined to the hospital and their 4 walls and they're not experiencing the other things that children are doing.
She couldn't be around other people that could have any infections. You know, when she was out, she had to wear her masks.
During this time, Victoria contracted a fungal infection, which is from a very low immune system, and she had little to no immune system left.
And I asked her what she wanted for Christmas, and she said, "I'd really just like to get out of this hospital and go see Christmas lights. Christmas lights are something my family and I go see together all the time, and I can't even leave to go see Christmas lights."
We knew that during the final stages that we weren't going to have Victoria with us much longer.
We were only outside for about 10 minutes, but it was a very special 10 minutes. It wasn't a lot of talking. We just looked at lights. And after about 10 minutes, we rolled back upstairs to her room, and we had our picture made in front of a little Christmas tree. And I said goodbye. And that picture is one of my most prized possessions because it was taken just moments before I saw my friend for the last time. And Victoria passed away before I could get back to see her.
The miracle that we received was that we had her for the time that we had her.
I brought her picture, and I just put that on the table. And I said, you know, this is what we look at every day during this radiothon, during this campaign.
Victoria passed away on January 21st, 2008, after a 4-year battle with leukemia, failed bone marrow transplants, and fungal infections.
It was as a result of Tori's death, sitting at her funeral, that I made up my mind that I needed to be doing this, not just a couple days a year with a radiothon, that I needed to be doing this with my life.
Doc wanted to do something special for Victoria, in memory of Victoria. And he came up with a fundraiser called Extra Life. And this fundraiser would be for the gaming community.
It just occurred to me that gamers should be able to do the things they love to help sick and injured kids as well. And so Extra Life was born. 1,200 gamers showed up on October 15th in 2008.
With this year's Extra Life Gaming Marathon, we're helping save kids' lives. You don't even have to be a crime-fighting superhero.
Each and every year afterwards, it continued to grow. Gamers responded by being able to game for their local hospitals. The next year, 4,500 gamers showed up, raised almost $500,000. The year after that, it was 15,000 gamers raising $1 million, and the next year, 17,000 gamers raising $2.1 million. Video games are like the #1 form of entertainment on planet Earth, have been now for quite a while.
Anyone could be involved in Extra Life.
Gamers aren't that pale kid in mom and dad's basement. They're mom and dads, they're aunts and uncles.
A young child to an older adult to a grandparent.
You can take all that fun of playing games for 24 hours and reach out to your friends and bring them to your environment.
Or if you want to play a board game, a card game.
The funds that Extra Lifers raise can go to a variety of purposes in the local area at the local hospital.
So maybe your extra $20 or your extra $50 goes to curing 87% of children with leukemia.
They might buy an isolette for a baby that is born the size of a cell phone and has to fight for its life.
I can guarantee you that that money goes directly back to these children to keep this from happening again to someone else's child.
Getting involved with Extra Life is really simple. You just have to go to the website at extra-life.org, put in a few details in there, join a team if you'd like to, or create one. After that, it's as simple as fundraising with your friends and family. Let them know why you are doing this. They should know that the money you raise is going to stay local in your community.
We never will truly lose Victoria because she will live for all of us through this.
It started with a little girl in Orange, Texas.
And I think that's all we have to say for today.
All we have to say today, so
we'll see
See
you
you
tomorrow
later
at
on
news at
whatever time it is.
at Victoria's house. Bye.